6-7 KCAL rocks. It is a Monday and time to do some sports with our guy, Pep. Pep, what's going on?
Yo, good morning, everybody. We love us some NFL Combine action. And Patrick, here's the part whether you love it or hate it, it is what it is. But the players are heavily scrutinized, especially the quarterback position, right? Because that's the franchise position. If you don't have a good quarterback, you're not going to win a lot of games. And a lot of quarterbacks are obviously found in the NFL draft. You bring them in on a rookie contract, so they're not making a ton of money, and you've got about a 5-year window to win right away. There's a lot of teams doing it. Well, with that said, maybe the best quarterback going into the combine and into the draft was Alabama quarterback Bryce Young from Southern California. Well, here's the part where we scrutinize him and pick him apart is because he didn't throw or do any of the on-field stuff, but he went for all the measurements. They want to see how tall you are, how much you weigh, how big your hands are. Well, Bryce Young is only 5'10", Patrick, and now people are like, oh, we thought he was good. Well, guess what? He's still good. He's only 5'10", though.
Right? I mean, it has changed. See, now, Kyler Murray got away with it because he's such a freak with his feet, and he is a good thrower. Bryce, it's not that he can't move. I think it's that he's short and he's slight. He looks small, even though that doesn't mean he's not tough. I think we kind of learned that with Devontae Smith, the receiver for the Eagles. I remember seeing him. It's like, he's small, but he's tough as hell. No problem.
Yeah, Devontae Smith is not a big receiver, and Bryce Young is not a big quarterback. We talk about thick players. Yeah, Kyler Murray is a thick quarterback, and he got away with it being 5'10". But there's a lot of quarterbacks in the league right now around 6 feet, and maybe 10 years ago, you'd be like, oh no, we are never drafting a quarterback, especially in the first round. We'll look like idiots that stands 6 foot or below. There's no way. I mean, I'll get fired. That's what general managers are thinking. I will get fired if I do something like this. But Bryce Young might be the best quarterback in this draft, but now that he's checked in at 5'10", will that scare a lot of teams off?
I think he knows that he was going to be scrutinized for his size because if you see his shoes, they had the thickest soles you could possibly have. I mean, he was walking around trying to look as tall as possible, so he knew it was coming.
He did. And again, I just want a guy who can win. If he can play the position and he's a winner, which he's proven that, then pick him. You know what I mean? Like if he's 5'10" or 6'4", but again, there's guys' livelihoods and jobs on the line, and they're making millions of dollars, and this is a huge business. So I get it. You can't get this wrong. If this guy's 5'10" and he's not very good, and that's everybody's jobs.
This means that somebody's going to get him for a steal.
Could be. That could be. And there's other guys who have looked the part. They've been big, they've been strong, they can throw the ball a mile, and they're not very good. So it works both ways, Patrick. It works both ways. I'll say this. A guy who has looked the part and proven it at the Combine is C.J. Stroud, the quarterback from the Ohio State University, and also the pride of Rancho Cucamonga. He's an IE guy. He's big, he's strong, and he looks the part. He can make all the throws. So if you're looking for a guy who's just kind of, fits the mold of what a franchise quarterback probably should look like, I think C.J. Stroud's going to come off the board very highly.
He may be the man.
Yeah, he could be the man. So anyways, it's always interesting at the Combine. You've got an image of what a winner's supposed to look like, and it might not fit into, what the league is telling you what your quarterback should look like, but I still think Bryce Young could be very good. I think C.J. Stroud's going to be very good. I think they're just different-looking quarterbacks.
Hey, Bryce, Doug Flutie feels your pain. He was the trailblazer of this whole thing. Yeah. He's ahead of his time.
Russell Wilson, Drew Brees. I mean, all these guys are like 6 foot. Kyler Murray, obviously, a little bit shorter than that. I think Baker Mayfield's around 6 foot. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys who can play this position.
They are, I think it's the slightness of his build. You know what I mean? That's what's really bringing attention to it. All those guys you mentioned, they're all stocky dudes. Yeah. One guy was saying when he first met Russell Wilson, he said he's built like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, quarterbacks have to be durable, right? Not only just big, you got to be durable too. And if you're a little bigger, you can take those hits, maybe shake off some tacklers. So I get it. I get all those things. Yeah. So, one other quarterback note, and this is not from the Combine, but just off-season news. Former Raiders quarterback Derek Carr reportedly leaning towards the Jets over the Saints or the Panthers. And here's the kicker, Patrick. So Robert Saleh, the head coach for the Jets, was at the Combine, and they asked him about Derek Carr. And they said he reminds him of Matt Stafford when Stafford was with the Lions and went to the Rams. Like, we all knew he was a great quarterback, just not on a very good team, but if he was in the right spot, this is a quarterback that could lead his team to the Super Bowl. So it's almost like you feel like the Jets are making plans in the back of their mind saying, if we get Derek Carr, we've got a great team around him. This might be our Super Bowl winning quarterback. So I don't know. Take it for what you will. Maybe Derek Carr will end up in New York.
I am a believer in this. I think if we can get past the ownership of the Jets, that's probably what is hanging most of us up. But if you do look at the team, and I know we talk about on paper and on the field are two different things. However, with Sauce Gardner and stuff on the defensive side, they built up a decent team. God, they've had trouble at the quarterback position. You plug in Derek Carr. I'm a believer, dude. I think they instantly become a playoff team, and they're in the mix.
Yeah.
So I have to say, I'm buying what Salah's selling.
I am too. He's keeping receipts, right? Isn't he the coach who famously said that? He's keeping receipts on all these guys. I buy it too, and I think here's the other thing to consider. Everyone's waiting to see what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. So maybe the Jets are thinking, we'd love to have Derek Carr. We think he could take us to a Super Bowl. But if Aaron Rodgers is available, we're going to have to make a run at him first, and then Derek Carr would be like our backup plan. That might be in the works as well.
And we won't dive down the Aaron Rodgers rabbit hole too much. However, hearing him talk about it, if you hear about the Packers guy talk and you hear about Aaron Rodgers talk, it is over for sure. There is no way he's going to Green Bay. It's the equivalent of me telling my wife, hey, honey, I'm going to go on this retreat and I'm going to decide on whether I want to be married to you or not anymore. It's not going to go over well. You know what I mean? It's over for sure, I think.
No, it's not going to go over well even if you choose to stay. Can you imagine? You tell your wife, I'm going to go take a couple days to see if this is going to work out. Yeah, you know what? It is going to work out. Your wife's going to be like, no, you already made your decision. I already know what you want.
Just the fact that you're entertaining that,
yes.
Dude. Deuces.
Peace. I'm going to bounce.
Yep.
So, all right, let's talk a little NBA before we wrap things up here, Patrick. We had a doubleheader at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, and it was actually both the LA teams winning. We'll start with the Lakers. Anthony Davis, old street clothes Davis, posting 39 points as the Lakers were able to beat the Warriors 113-105. Steph Curry back in the Warriors lineup. He missed like 11 games with a leg injury. He was back in the lineup. Lakers beat him anyway. So they're hard to figure out when all the guys are on the floor together. They just don't seem to be very good, but when you take some parts away, they find a way to win. I just scratch my head about that.
I think they just have to obviously keep working on playing together. It seems like they are so intermittent and it's jumbled so much. However, they kind of show if just a couple of players can play well, they do really good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe if they're all healthy, it's a negative. I don't know. But D'Angelo Russell's had his injury problems, and LeBron James, we have no idea. In fact, I've heard some guys who closely follow the NBA that he might not even play again this season. So we'll see. He's going to be reevaluated in a couple weeks if he's going to come back from that foot injury.
I'm with your homies on that. Ooh. I think this injury is much worse than they want to lead on. He's the face of the league. They can't say he's done.
Yeah. Yeah, oh no, they can't. They need him. He sells tickets. He does all that kind of stuff. So they don't want to say right now in the beginning of March, like, oh, you're not going to see him again for the rest of the year. That would be bad news for the NBA.
No, but I can hear the roar getting louder and louder the longer that he's out. Mm-hmm. I think it's starting to dawn on people that this is actually a major injury. Yeah. He is human. Yeah. And he's gone down.
I know, it's hard to believe he is human, and the older he gets, the harder it is to bounce back from those injuries. 38-year-old LeBron James, and the other LA team, Patrick, in the doubleheader, the nightcap, the Clippers, the LA Clippers beating Memphis 135-129. And what was funny is that was the first win for the Clippers since they got Russell Westbrook. They had gone 0-5 since Russell Westbrook joined the team, but they finally broke through last night.
Trust Russ, right? You got to trust Russ. And it looks like he was pumped up too. They had a great photo of him just roaring at the crowd. He did get his first win. So well done, Russell. You know what I mean? He did something good, right? Yeah,
the Clippers were getting mocked, like, oh my gosh, they bring in Russell Westbrook and they're not going to win another game. Like, is it really that bad when he joins your team? But they were 0-5. They finally won last night. Thanks to Paul George. He had a huge game. Kawhi Leonard had 34-10, the pride of King High School in Riverside. So they were able to right the ship, but I don't know if Russell Westbrook's going to be a huge addition. I don't know if we're going to see a lot of him during this, home stretch for the Clippers, but he was out there and they did win. So
he did possibly get off a sinking ship and onto a ship that is rising to the playoffs at least. That we can say that Russell has done.
Yes, and they're supposed to. Whether the Clippers do or not, they're supposed to. At least they're supposed to be one of the better teams in the Western Conference, so we'll see. One other quick note from that game, Patrick. Ja Morant did not play for the Memphis Grizzlies in that loss to the Clippers, and he's probably not going to play against the Lakers on Tuesday night, tomorrow night, because, man, he's been in a lot of trouble lately, and here's the latest thing is a social media post with him holding a gun, brandishing a gun, and the league is looking into this, and until they come to some sort of a solution, he's not going to see the court again. I don't know how many games it's going to be, but he's definitely not going to play against the Lakers this week.
And I mean, from what I hear, it is kind of poor Allen Iverson is getting dragged through the mud. They're bringing up Allen Iverson and how much heat he took with the company that he kept. I think a similar thing is happening to Ja Morant. Ja, you're a millionaire, dude. You don't need to be flashing guns on your IG, bro. That's a bad look. He did at least come clean and say, hey, I take responsibility for all my actions. Let's hope this is the end. But it seems like that deal may be coming apart a little bit, you know?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was not the first time, and he did put it out an apology and took responsibility. But yeah, it might be too little, too late. I don't know. And he's a rising star. He's one of the best players in the NBA right now. So so the Memphis Grizzlies, I thought were going to be one of the best teams in the Western Conference, but if he's not there or there's issues behind the scenes, count them out.
No, there is trouble for sure. We will keep you up to date on what's going on with that. Pep, tell them how to get your stuff.
Get my stuff. It's on Inland Sports, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We got the Inland Sports YouTube channel. Head over there right now and hit that subscribe button. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.